It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scentlock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
EZ Kut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings.
And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to the Up North Journal podcast on a windy, I almost said Wednesday, on a windy Sunday evening here in the cabin. Man, I'm glad that we don't live in Kansas, because if we were, I'd think we were in a tornado or something.
We wouldn't be in Kansas anymore.
Right, man. It is whipping out there.
It is howling. You know, you actually got back before it started.
Yeah, luckily. That was my goal. Yeah.
And it started out, I guess, pretty calmly. But by this afternoon,
oh man,
she was a whipping.
Well, when I woke up at 10 this morning, finally, it was just kind of getting started with the wind cranking. And as the day progressed, it's gotten a lot worse here in Michigan. Matter of fact, they've shut the Mackinac Bridge down. Had ice falling.
That picture you posted.
Is that crazy or what?
My cousin posted the same thing. I tell you what, would that not scare the heebie-jeebies out of you when they hit your windshield?
You know, we've at the TV station I work at, not our primary transmitter tower, but our tower that transmits to our main tower in Chesaning. You know, it's 200 feet tall. It's got the guy wires and everything that hold it up. When ice starts coming off of that thing, they make us all stay inside. You can't get in the parking lot, or they'll have everybody move their cars out of the parking lot because of falling ice.
Absolutely.
So same with the Mackinac Bridge.
You know, and that's got those big tubes of wires that the ice probably sits on, and then.
Did you follow that post down and see the guy that they were going to send up? They got a picture of a guy up on the main stretch on the main cable. He's tethered in, you know, on both sides, and he's chipping ice
as he walks up.
Yeah, as he's going up the cable, cutting ice.
I tell you,
no way, not in this wind, man. No way.
That is one of the God, what's his name? The Dirty Jobs guy. He did it from
Mike
the Mackinac. Yeah, he did that, and he walked up that and.
I know a guy that's been up there on that.
Cool,
doing photo work for the Michigan Department of Transportation, a guy I used to work with, yeah.
Oh, man.
And they've got a picture of him tied on, and he's got a camera, and he's holding I think he's shooting video. He's holding the camera as he's standing, but he's tied off on both sides. And this is up at the top, not down low, but up towards the top, and the guy was on the tower and shooting a picture of him holding the camera, taking video.
Wow.
And I'm like, nope, no thank you.
That's right.
So,
yeah. I scored something pretty cool this morning.
I see you got some new attire there.
Well, this is one of the things. I got this Friday night.
Yeah, that's nice.
I could have got yours to you Friday night, but
it had you. I would have been in style at the show.
It was late, but I got my EZ Kut T-shirt.
Yeah,
just give us a squeeze.
Is that the slogan? Give me my shirt. Oh, it's on the back. Okay, I was like, okay, where are you coming with this? Nice. You know,
give us a squeeze.
You know, we've talked about EZ Kut quite a bit here in the last couple of weeks. You know, we're part of the staff there. And I had the privilege of being able to see these guys at the show this weekend. So it was nice putting some names and faces together. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But before we get too far in, don't forget Hunter's Blend Coffee.
Hunter's Blend Coffee, absolutely. We're having some right now, and you know what? It's actually tasting pretty good coming out from outside. Mm-hmm. But you can still go to the website, huntersblendcoffee.com. Use the promo code capital UNJ, and they'll give you 10% off your purchase.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go back to the gym I was at the gym this morning.
Right.
Did you prepare your stuff?
No, I did not.
Oh, boy.
Not yet.
Oh, boy. He's going to be pretty smelly tomorrow.
I wore my Scentlock socks all weekend down there, or all day yesterday, so my shoes ought to be fine.
Right. I got my Scentlock. I'm not going to sweat it at Archery tonight.
Yeah.
Get it? Sweat it, Archery. That's a funny.
See what I got to put up with. Should have taken you to Indiana with me and left you there.
No.
But no, I took off. I went down, did a turn and burn yesterday, went down to the Indiana Deer and Turkey and Waterfowl Expo. Nice show.
Is that the same? Is that the Field and Stream?
No.
Run?
No, that's
okay.
a Renfro.
Okay.
Productions.
This is totally something different.
Renfro.
Okay.
Yes. Nice show.
It looked... Okay, so you showed some pictures. I caught a couple pictures you posted, and there was a couple times it looked packed.
It was packed.
Like shoulder to shoulder packed, where
it was.
If you were going one way, that's all you were going because you weren't turning around.
You couldn't swim upstream.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was packed. That show, it's if I had to compare it, size wise, bigger than Outdoorama, not as big as ATA, but it's supposed to be supposedly the second biggest public show east of the Mississippi.
You met Kevin Marsh this weekend?
Oh yeah. Hey, Kevin.
He's glad he could put a face with the name. I'm so sorry for him.
Actually, I saw Kevin. Him and I, we talked previously on a subject that shall remain nameless at this point in time. I don't even want to get into that, but he has a meat market and butcher shop, I believe, down in Indiana. And him and I have talked back and forth, and he's got a daughter that runs a little bit of an outdoor webpage on Facebook and does some hunting and outdoors activities. And yeah, all of a sudden, David Boggs, who I was running with, turned around and said, "Hey, here's Kevin, Mike, Kevin." And, it's like, oh, okay. You talk to people on Facebook, and you don't ever get that opportunity to do a face-to-face and put that name and face together. And it was nice finally, meeting and seeing him. And I also met Joey Buttram, who runs a Facebook page as well. And he's been a fan of the show for several years. And he was doing a fishing seminar down there. He was on the panel. You know how they put him up on stage and
yep.
people get to ask him questions. He was one of the guys that was on stage. And I'm walking by, and hey, Mike, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that down there.
Middletown, Indiana?
Middletown, Indiana, yes.
So one thing about the ATA show that I do like is you go for the whole year, mm-hmm. and that's probably one of the biggest shows that you can put names and faces.
Absolutely.
It's like, because everybody's there, basically, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
And same thing with these shows here. When we start traveling, you went to Indiana, and you'll meet, and that's what happens, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Because for the longest time, you're a name behind a screen, and it's like...
Yeah. It just, you finally get to put a name and a face together, and it makes things a lot more personal. I like being able to do the show here on Facebook and talk to people via Facebook or Twitter, whatever. But when you have those personal interactions, it brings everything together.
Right, exactly. So, and then you meet new people, and it's a fun time.
Well, that was just it too. David was running around and introducing me to people all day. And that was really cool. I got to hang out with some old friends as well, and let's just kind of start down the road here as far as what we did. But I spent the day hanging out over in the Backwater Legacies booth. There's Paul Anderson talking with a youth there, trying to enlighten him on what the camp has to offer. You can see David Boggs in the background talking to somebody there, and then Dan Carr is over the left shoulder of Paul there. Basically, this is the outdoor academy that I've been associated with. I'm not part of them, but I've helped them out and done some things with them, some video work.
Are they full for this year yet, or are they still taking?
They've got a few openings left, and that's what they were doing there. And also, what was interesting is you get to see kids come through younger ages, and maybe they're not ready for that camp yet, age-wise. So they get the information, and they can plan, a year or two in advance and get the kids ready for camp to bring them in. So that's what was nice. We got to see, a wide range of ages there at the booth.
Well, that's always good. You got to get them, you get that little, get them interested, start thinking about it. And in a public show like this is where they get their first, their first glance at the pictures and talking with the people. And you get the parents, you got to get them going, bring them on the level of what this camp's about and what, send them there and see what happens. And
Dan Carr here in this photo, this is one of the gentlemen that I'm going to be able to hunt with this year while I'm down there in Indiana. So I'm really looking forward to, getting to know him a lot better and spending some time down there. So, but I got to run the floor with David pretty much all day, and it was really nice being able to spend some time with Dave. And he's since the accident, he's kind of getting back on his feet and moving.
It's a slow road.
It is, but I tell you what, it's hard for me to keep up with him. The guy is just so determined to push forward. He walked my legs off.
Right, exactly.
So,
and did they pull all the screws out of his legs yet?
I think they got a couple that is trying to contain him.
Oh, okay. I know he was there. He did a post that he was in the hospital again.
Yeah, they did. They pulled some rods out of his back. Wow. So, yeah. But no, he's on the mend, man. There's no slowing that guy down.
Big shout out to Tony Smith who's watching.
All right. Hey, Tony, what's going on? We started the day. When we got in, I went in with the guys from Backwaters, and the public was waiting to get in. We got in at 9 o'clock. The main doors opened at 10.
Okay.
When we got there, we had to fight our way through the crowd to get to the door to get in, and the line was out the door, down the side of the building, and around the building already, and that was at 9 o'clock, and they were waiting for an hour.
I can't tell you any show that I've been to lately that's like that here in Michigan.
No, and it was, like I said, it was wall-to-wall people. It was good. I mean, it was busy. That whole day is... Kevin says he's donating the processing of a deer on the youth hunt. That is awesome. That is awesome. So another guy giving back to the outdoors, much like Backwater.
That's part of it, right?
But stopped by and saw Scott and Jerry from EZ Kut. Seeing as how you got the new attire on here, I thought
got the new shirt.
We would give them a little shout out here. But I stopped by and talked to them before the show opened, and then when the show opened, I went back. I wanted to see how the booth was running. It was packed, man. It was just, people were all around, but they had a great day. They were showing a lot of product. Jerry's sitting here showing the wow saw to a customer who walked by, and Scott, I didn't quite get the whole deal. I don't know if he was...
Was he going to hit somebody with that stick?
I don't know if he was going to hit somebody with a stick or if he was offering it for him to try to cut.
I think so. I think it looks like he's offering it because...
Yeah, I think somebody had the loppers, and he was getting ready to let them try him out there. So, but here from the backside of the table, you can see it's just, the place is just packed. It was all the way down. You look down the row to the right there.
That's what I noticed on some of the pictures you posted on Facebook. Was it was literally shoulder to shoulder the aisle. Yeah, it was nuts. And even in that photo there, you can tell the same thing. And it was like this, for every aisle there was. I would equate this. The thing about this show is here in Michigan we have our Deer and Turkey show, and then we'll have our boat show, and then we'll have an RV show, and then maybe like an SCI outfitter show. Well, we also got. I would equate. From what these pictures look like, this is probably about the equivalent to our Woods and Water. Yes, it reminded me a lot of Woods and Water, but bigger. The thing is this show, it had them all wrapped in one, but they were all in separate areas or buildings there in the Indiana State Fairgrounds, and they had these tents connecting the buildings, so you didn't have to walk outside. They were heated, it kept you dry, the wind wasn't hitting you, there was no snow, no slop. I mean, it wasn't that cold down there, but the point is, you could go from one building to the next and not have to worry about the weather. Right, which was really exactly. Nice. And and that's the thing, especially when you got something you're going to be spending all day there. I take it. Right. Yep. Absolutely. You go in and you had the hunting section or the hunting building. Then you had the power boats part. Okay. Or just power boats, and then you go into the RV section, and then you go into what was called Tackle Town, which was all fishing gear, and then they had the outfitter section. In a separate building. We didn't make it back to that one. We simply ran out of time. That's exactly what Outdoorama, which is coming here next week, right, used to be like years back at the State Fairgrounds. They had the two buildings. One was all outfitters. The other one was all your... It's all inclusive. Yeah. And we don't have that anymore. That's... I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's different. The West Side show, Weller's, is pretty big, right? But I don't think it's as big as Complex. It sounds like no. So you got to watch because at that they're stuffed into the outside of the hallway, right? As well, right? So it depends on what your place that you're hosting has to offer. Yeah. But so good. It sounded like it was. It started on Friday. Actually, this was the last weekend. It was a 2 week, covered 2 weekends, like 10 days. Really? Friday through the following Sunday. But the hunting part of it was just, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Really? Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I can't remember which. Yeah. But all the other parts were already open, and had people going through them. But so the all-inclusive part with the hunting as well was just this last weekend, long weekend. Anybody going down to the Dixie Deer Classic next week's in Raleigh? Jeremy Snyder is going to be having showcasing the EZ Kut there next weekend. All right. So you guys want to check out EZ Kut? If you're down in the Raleigh area, stop by and see Jeremy there at the booth. Jeremy, what booth are you going to be in? Let us know. Yeah. Ken Cicluna, you're right. Yeah, it looks like the Hunting Time Expo in Grand Rapids. That's a good show. Yeah, I've always liked that show. But this one's definitely bigger than the Hunting Time Expo by far. I mean, just because the fairgrounds are so much bigger. Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It depends on like I said, what places host you is going to limit you. Right. And so, go ahead. Like Outdoorama, they've split it in half. One is the Outdoorama show, and the other half is the cottage show.
Right. Yep.
So
I tell you what, let's go ahead and take our first break. We're bumping up here on time, so we'll get that out of the way. When we come back, we'll talk a little more about what we saw down there this weekend. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. Sitting here talking about the Indiana Deer and Turkey and Waterfowl Expo. Got to make sure you call it the Expo. Well, it's not a classic, it's the Expo. So, we talked about Jeremy going to be down there at the Dixie Deer Classic. He says, with the Mason-Dixon Experiment and Tree Stand Safety Awareness Association. So that's where he's going to be.
In booth J12 and 13.
So there you go. Go down there and see Jeremy down there at the show.
Right. Tell him we said hi.
Absolutely. Tell Mike and Dan sent you.
Right.
So with that being said, so that was EZ Kut guys. They were down there, the Backwaters guys. But do you remember back at the ATA, Dan, when we got a chance to see Dixie?
I do.
The Praying Dog, and it does recovery, and it's a therapy dog.
Yep, he's in. She's in the same association as a fellow member of the association here in Linden.
That's right. Yeah. The I forget what they call them, but they're basically recovery dogs. You know, if you're out hunting and you shoot a deer and you can't find it, the Tracking Dog Association. So, but
so Dixie was down there.
Yeah, well, this was at ATA, and unfortunately, I forgot to take photos while I was down there of Dixie, but you can see Dixie here. This is a photo off of her page, and I got a chance to hang out down there and talk with them a little bit. But what I did not know is I got ready to leave. Did you know Dixie has her own vehicle?
Well, it kind of looks that way.
Well, I got to see it in the parking lot. Yeah, she's got a nice Jeep. I was like, man, that's pretty sweet. I wish I could get some of those features put on my Jeep.
You can.
So, but I wonder if Dixie drives.
I'm sure Dixie drives, but I bet you Dixie enjoys when that covers off the back and she just lets her ears fly in the wind.
Yeah, I bet so. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It's all decaled up with logos for it, but they do quite a bit of work, as far as the therapy dog part as well. So it's just a really cool deal. But Dixie was the hit of the show.
Really?
You'd be walking anytime that she was around. Kids had popcorn. Like this one kid was in a stroller and had popcorn, scattered all around. And they pulled the kid out. And of course, Dixie got to eat the snacks.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Cleaned up after the kids. So, but she's going around doing her thing, and everybody was petting her, and you'd be doing something at the show, and all of a sudden you'd hear the roar, roar, and you're like, oh, that's Dixie. She's down over there doing something.
You
over
can
that
always
section.
tell where Dixie is at the ATA show when we were there because you could hear her barking, and then exactly what you just said. Oh, whatever, over that way.
Well, actually, she got to hang out in the X tree stand the X stand tree stand and Rambo booth. So I guess she was over there selling tree stands and bikes.
No, she looks pretty comfortable in that tree stand.
Yeah, I think so. So that was pretty cool. And there's Josh doing his thing. Big shout out to Josh Hagerman that helps us here as well. So, but yeah, it was cool to see Dixie again.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to give her a quick shout out and make sure that if you guys get a chance, go over to her Facebook page and check it out. It's just a really cool thing that they do. So.
Yeah, it is cool. And then on the other side goes and tracks some dogs, but does a lot of other stuff too.
Tracks deer, not dogs.
Tracking dog.
Tracking
for
dog.
Deer.
So, but while I was down there, I found something I want to talk about today. I got the opportunity. There was a booth right kind of kitty corner to where we were at there at the Backwaters booth.
They dragged you in by smell, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And it's Buckhead Wildlife Marinade. And they had their shop. They had their booth there, and they were cooking. They had 5 different kinds of meat, and they were all running this marinade and in the seasoning mix as well. And I tell you what, out of sight. I just want to give these guys a quick shout out. So we brought some back here to the house that we're going to use on the grill.
You brought some back to try it out, eh?
Yes. And
smoked applewood.
This here is like crack. They had me try this out. They didn't have any prepared meat with this seasoning on it, but the smoked applewood, I put it in my hand and tasted it with my tongue, and I tell you what, it's like, where's the spoon at? Let me start eating this right out of the jar. This stuff here is thebomb.com. But they've got a webpage. Go over to the Buckhead Wildlife Marinade website, and I don't have it right here on hand. Oh, yeah, we do right here. Let me get this paperwork right here, Danny. It is www.buckheadwildlife.com. So you can check
Or you can call Jack.
Or you can call him at 618-973-7358 and get you some ordered.
Did you try some meats? Did you try the meats that they had?
Yes, I did. Many times. Many times.
Would you make a lunch out of it?
Tried to.
Tried?
Nice. They had some pork. Tried that. The first thing I tried was chicken. And that's the thing, is this is just not for wild game meat. It's for really
for anything, right?
For any meat that you want to prepare. And this also helps to tenderize the meat as well. But we tried chicken, we tried the pork, we tried goose, we tried duck, we tried venison.
Good.
Good. I mean, I've had a lot of marinades, and honestly, I've used some of the more popular brands. Actually, some of the stuff I've gotten that I've been using recently, I would wait till I would go down south to my dad's, and I'd buy it by the case down there.
And bring it back?
Yeah, just because it was. I thought it was good.
And
it was good,
you
but
can't
this stuff
find
is
it up
awesome.
here.
Right, but this stuff here is awesome. I can't recommend it enough. So if you're looking for a new marinade to try, I highly recommend it.
Give it a whirl, huh?
Yep, give it a whirl.
Absolutely. Why not?
I'm
Okay.
hoping to break some deer meat out here maybe next weekend and do a batch up.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Well, you should. Don't think about it. Just do it.
You're just wanting to eat. That's all it is.
Yeah. I'll take some food on the show.
Right. So, and we're hoping to have these guys on the show here too.
Well, that's cool.
Maybe
Absolutely.
do a little cooking.
Bring them on the show and show us their magic.
That's right. So,
now, I don't know if you had a lot of time to walk around.
A little bit.
What else did you see that was kind of cool?
The pork rind stand.
The pork rind stand.
Yeah. Or
fresh
crackling. Yeah.
Fresh pork rinds.
Oh, thebomb.com, man. I didn't buy any. I didn't bring any home, but we had a bag there in the booth, and
it didn't last long. Did it?
we tore that up. So,
right?
Yeah, it was good.
So they made them fresh on site.
No, well, I say fresh, but it was bagged up there.
Okay, right.
It was bagged and ready to sell.
I don't think there is.
The only thing that would made that any better is if you'd put a little bit of this smoked applewood.
I don't think
seasoning on it.
I don't think there's a bad pork rind.
No, there's not.
So. I really don't. As bad as they are for you.
Yeah. Hey, Benjamin Farrell, what is going on?
Matt Howard's joining us too.
Hey, good to hear from Ohio. Jim Miller, gobble gobble. Absolutely, man. Ready for turkey season. That's the thing. Going down the show, I'm cruising down through Indiana, getting close to Dave's place. And as the sun's coming up, what am I doing? I'm driving down the freeway, and when I got off freeway, the side roads, and I'm left, right. I'm looking in the fields trying to find either turkeys or deer. Didn't see any. I don't know why.
Because the turkeys were in my backyard.
A little disappointed. You did have a few in your backyard, didn't you?
Yep, and it was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. They showed up at 11:30 in the morning.
That's odd.
They were my daughter Kelly was sitting there and started to hear them.
Okay,
and she's like, "Wow!" And the garbage truck was coming through, and they were actually louder than the garbage truck.
Really?
So she's like, "All right." So she stood up and kind of looked around, looked out back, and they were 25 yards behind the house, full strut.
What are you feeding?
I have not seen gobblers there. In the last time turkey came through, it was a bunch of hens with some poults.
I wish I had the picture up. I forgot to put the picture on the show net. We'll put it up next week for sure.
But there was 6 to 8 of them. One's got a really nice beard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But okay, so I heard that. Right, that was she sent me those pictures. I think that was Thursday.
Okay, so you were at work when this all went.
Yeah, this was. She's sending me pictures at work, going.
Hey, look at this.
Yeah. So I'm like, great. And then Thursday night into Friday morning, I let the dogs out at 3:00 in the morning, and the coyotes were going crazy. I mean, they were close. I kind of have a northwest direction that they were, because even my dogs were staring off into the woods.
Right.
And they were just going crazy. I kind of know where they're at. I know what big patch of woods it's over off Donner. On the back side of that.
Right.
But you want to leave the window open so you can listen, but yet you don't want to freeze. And I'm like,
right.
But that was cool to hear.
It's cool, but also at the same time, you know that they're out there ready to feed on something. Too.
Yeah. So I'm thinking one of the deer might have, the deer most likely.
Turkeys would be roosting, so
Yeah, the turkeys I wasn't worried about. But I don't think anybody's got any chicken coops around. So
yeah. Well, I know we're having issues at our camp. I just talked with a guy up there today, with my buddy John, and there have been issue after issue after issue with coyotes on the property for the last week. Last night, listened and heard him drag a deer down. Went out looking for it this morning. Couldn't find out where they were at, but he said it sounded like there was a dozen out there. It was a big pack. It just seems to be a repeated problem up at our place, and the deer are really skittish, and they're getting
hammered,
harder to see because either A, they're getting eaten, or B, they're getting out of the area.
Well, and plus, up by me, which already has a lot of snow, is supposed to get an additional 12 inches.
Right.
It makes it easier for the coyotes and the wolves and predators to stay on top of the snow, and the deer have to go through the snow.
Right.
So they become easy pickings.
Well, and up in they just got hammered with a ton of snow. Our camp just got hammered with another foot of snow. Those are the issues, and coyotes can run on top of that hard pack where the deer can't. So,
right, exactly. So it's getting to be about it, but it's still March, or we're coming into March, so we're not into the danger zone yet.
Right.
But as soon as we get towards the end of March and into April, that's when it's going to get. We need a thaw up there.
Right.
I'd like to see, but then with a thaw, you got to watch the flooding, right?
Right. Yeah, it's double-edged swords.
Yeah, exactly. So
never a perfect situation.
No, it's not. But I just wanted to ask you, besides this, did you see anything that caught your eye, product-wise or anything like that? I know the pork rinds caught your eye, obviously.
Yeah. There was a vendor there that had, like, backpacks and bags and big, heavy canvas bags. They had all different shapes, sizes, colors, camo patterns. And the prices were really, really reasonable. If I'd have had a little more time, I'd have done some more investigating. David told me he's worked, talked with him before. Stuff's really well built. They had some interesting concepts and shapes and sizes of bags, for maybe like a day pack that you're going to be on a hike with, like a backpack style, but maybe a little smaller, more like, the size of the old first cell phone bags you put in your car. That
right.
You could put a GPS in, put maybe your wallet in, and some different things, and you carry on your side, or maybe even camera equipment bags style things, and then big day pack or big pack bags where you put in a ton of clothing, or maybe a bedroll or something of that nature, along with some other things.
I wonder if he's going to be here next weekend.
I don't know.
There is a group. There is a vendor there that has the same exact stuff.
Okay, probably is. Probably makes the circuit and tours the circuit. And you're talking about at Outdoorama, right?
Yep.
And I know EZ Kut's going to be down at Outdoorama, and hopefully we're going to be able to be down there and talk with them and see them. And
I'll probably be down there Thursday night, big buck night. I'll probably go then.
Okay.
Plus, EZ Kut will be there.
Yep.
Plus, they're going to have seminars, and Tim Andrus is going to be in town.
Tim's going to be back in town.
Yeah, he's going to be doing one on scouting cameras, I think, but don't quote me on that.
Speaking of cameras, I got something to talk about that here at the end of the show if we've got time.
Okay. And so, in Michigan here, starting Thursday through Sunday, Michigan Outdoorama at the Suburban Collection. Tim Andrus is going to be in town giving some seminars. Mark Martin, I think, is going to be there.
Okay.
The usual Michigan circuit guys are there.
Right.
But it's always good to see Tim. I saw him last year there. So I think he'll be in town starting Friday.
Yeah. I would like to get down there. I'm hoping to. I don't know exactly what day I'll be able to make it just yet, but I'm hoping either Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Just don't know yet what my plans are. So we'll see how that shakes out. So you might see me on the floor there running around.
Dan Anderson is checking in from Wisconsin, and Dan, you're right. It's a bit breezy.
Yeah.
And how much snow do you got?
And Ben Farrell's asking about if we've been doing any shooting. Actually, we'll talk about that here in just one of the other segments of the show.
Are we doing any shooting?
Speaking of, let's take our second break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit maybe about shooting and trail cams and stuff like that. So
all right.
We're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show, everybody. Sitting in the cabin, listening to the wind blow.
Yeah, I can hear it howling a little bit, hearing the tag on your electrical.
On the meter outside?
Yeah, swaying.
It's still blowing pretty hard, man.
Yeah, we're going to go into the shoot tonight. We're going to be...
glad it's indoors.
We're going to be going with the wind, so we're probably going to get there in no time.
Coming home might be an issue.
Right? It has been the last 2 weekends.
It has. Last 2 weekends have been snowstorms, and the roads have been terrible, and now we got a windstorm. You know, coming home last night from Indiana, man, it was rough. When I left coming out of Indianapolis, I came up to Fort Wayne, cut across the Lima to go visit my son, who's in school over there. I was going to take him out for dinner. And it would rain real hard, and then it'd quit, but it'd be foggy.
Oh.
It was hard to see the road. The wind wasn't an issue, but... it was nasty. Then I eat dinner with him, took him back over to campus, dropped him off, stayed with him for a few minutes, and then hit the road back north. And same thing, man. It was horrible. And by this time, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday to go down to Indianapolis. I dropped him off and started heading home. It was, I think, 11. No, it was 10:45. And I got up to right around Bowling Green, Ohio.
Okay.
And... it's one of them where, man, you're just prying your eyelids open trying to stay awake. I'm like, okay, rest area, that's enough. Pulled over.
Take a snooze?
Yeah, for a half hour, set my alarm on my phone, and I slept hard for a half hour. When I woke up, got back on the road, and I made it home. But it was 1:45 in the morning. So in 22 hours, I had a half hour sleep.
Yeah,
it was tough.
It is tough, especially when you're alone.
Yeah, turning and burning, man. It's but you know, you do what you do for the outdoors, going to these shows.
Well, you get to see your
kids,
son, too.
You see your kids, yeah. You know, it was the best couple hours I've spent, you know, with him, quality time in a long time. It's just, you know, when you're home, he's running here, running there, I'm running here, running there.
Right.
And you take it for granted that you got your kids home from school, and you just, you know, you don't maximize your time as much. But, yeah, those 2 hours were good.
Good. Oh, Dan Anderson's reporting in. He doesn't know how much snow he has because it's blowing all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of believe that.
I bet.
But yeah, so it's good. Good to hear that. We'll give a report back on the shows. We got a couple shows coming up here in the next 2 weekends. Outdoorama is going to shoot next weekend, and then Field and Stream is the weekend after, I think.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, you mentioned trail cams.
Yeah.
Or somebody mentioned trail cam. I don't remember what the context was here during the show, but somebody said something about trail cameras.
Tim Andrus is going to be doing
oh, that's right. You said that.
He's going to be doing a seminar at Outdoorama on it.
So, you know, making that transition this year, going out of state to do a little hunting down in Indiana, and the guys that I'm hunting with, you know, we had our first camp meeting.
Okay.
You know, kind of get our game plan together, set some work days to get together and do some work on the property, and set budgets for everything. And we're gonna get some trail cameras, and we're gonna use the CuddeLink system. You know, remember back before we went to ATA, told you I wanted to check into some trail cameras that had like a cell type reception.
Like I know off the top of my head comes to mind because I see the advertisement all the time. Is Spartan's got one?
Yep. Sniper's got one.
Sniper's got one.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna go with the CuddeLink?
Yeah. We all kind of agreed to go with that system. We're going to give that a try. But basically, they all piggyback off each other to the home unit, and you know you can get photos, you know, on your phone, or you can get them, I think, sent to an email. So I got to do some more checking. We're going to try to get that set up. But that's something I'm going to be running this year to take inventory on the property of the deer we got and try to set up a plan to set stands and everything as season starts to get closer. So as we run through this camera system, you know, be able to talk about it a little bit.
Right, exactly.
And let you know how it's doing. So
it's good that you got cell service.
And we've got, I think we've got some Wi-Fi service there on the property
I
as
would
well.
die to have cell service where I could do that, because there's a couple of spots I'd like to put a camera, because I know there's some big boys that travel through that corridor back there. But
well, and this is going to allow us to be able to have cameras put up, not only for security reasons, but then you'll be able to, you know, if you put them in this heavy cover, maybe where you think there's something, and then you don't have to go in and check and pull cards all the time. The only thing we have to do is change battery, you know, once every 2 or 3 months.
That's one, and that's one thing.
Because they do use a little more battery power.
And well, that's one thing that they have vastly improved from the 8D cell battery cameras that started off this whole blast.
Absolutely.
To you're now most likely putting in a 8 AA's.
Right.
And then it can run off the 4, and then and the cameras have progressively gotten smaller. Can they be so you don't do the camera thing, can you run them solar?
Don't know. That I'm not sure of. This is like I said, the guys have done their research on it. They've done more research on it than I have, actually.
Right. That'd be kind of cool if you could set up a little solar panel. And
so I'm going to dig into this system hopefully this week a little bit and learn a lot more about it, and then that way I'll be a little more informed about what it does and doesn't do. When you put your cameras out, do you use rechargeable batteries in yours or
nah?
No? You don't?
I did, but then it was like, okay, I could. It was kind of. I started to go that route, but then it was like, well, I can just buy a 36 pack and just be done with it, and when they're done, they're done, and it's easier just to do that instead of saying, well, did I recharge? So, no, I use.
You definitely have to have a system of recharging, and
right.
knowing, and also, not only. So you got your batteries, you put them in, and when they're done, you put another one in, throw those away, whatever. With using rechargeables, I've got a secondary set that I'm constantly backing. You got a backup set, so they're charged when you go into the field. You've got fresh batteries to put in, take them out, put those on charger, so the next time you go out, those are ready to be put in the camera. So
right, so exactly, and then when I'm running 4 or 5 cameras, it's like, well, but yeah, it's just easier to put them in. Bad ones go in this pocket, good ones are over here, and just it is what it is. And people take turns buying the batteries, so it's because everybody uses them.
Okay,
so it's no big deal.
So yeah, we're gonna be running down through that. So I'll have some additional cameras out as well. Everybody knows that I run Brownings. That's my preferred camera of choice when it comes just to basic standard camera. So I know the other 3 guys that's hunting with me. It's going to be a mixture of cameras. So it's going to be nice to be able to look at all these different cameras and be able to say, truly understand which one has the better performance, maybe longer battery life. There's different situations for all of them.
They're always saying, we got this trigger speed, we got that trigger speed, and it's like, okay, you say you have this trigger speed, does it work for me?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that you just, you'll learn, and that's kind of cool. So you'll be able to give better reports when people ask you, what do you use?
Right.
Like right now, I think I've got 4 Cabela's cameras, 1, 2 Moultries, and then I got and I can't think of the name of it. It's green, but I can't remember it. It's a point and shoot. It was free when I bought it blind.
Is it one of the Primos cameras?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, it was probably one that took one of the best pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Go figure.
Right. Exactly. It's like, okay, it is what it is. So,
right.
Cool. So yeah, you getting that all set up, ready to go.
Yeah. It was kind of made it official. We made the decision. We're going to do this, and yada, yada, yada. And we talk on the phone. We got plans, but we had our first official sit-down meeting.
And Dan brings up a good point about the cameras.
What's up?
Placing the cameras higher and point them down.
Yes, I've talked to somebody who does that.
That is Clinton Turner. He does that, I do believe.
Okay, no, it wasn't him that told me. Actually, I remember the gentleman. He's down in Ohio now, but yeah, that was that, and it's harder for people. Makes it harder for people to take them. But you need to carry a ladder around with you,
right? And
if depending on how high up you put them,
exactly. And I'm like, for my height, I'd be taking a ladder. But it's funny you mention that because that's a tip and trick they use on the DNR show that I watch when they're trying to scout or
catch
surveillance.
Somebody.
Yeah. They go out and they climb up into the tree or do whatever, get it higher up. And then one of the tricks was to always carry a wedge block.
So you can point it downwards.
So you can put it in the back of the camera and tilt it forward.
Right.
So that's always kind of cool.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. And plus, that gives you a different perspective on different bucks.
Right.
It gives you a better view of if you're looking for their headgear, age structure. You're trying to get a better view. It gives you not just a side view at hip height or eye height or whatever it might be for us.
Right.
But it gives you a totally different view.
What the seminar that Tim's going to give? What day is that? Or is it all weekend?
It's all weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I do believe Sunday.
Okay. I'll have to check.
It's at different times. I know there's one Friday, I think is early afternoon, Saturday is late afternoon, and Sunday I think is the morning.
Okay. And one thing that's going to be nice is this year we're actually down in Indiana. I'm going to be able to, because you can put pre-season feed. We'll be able to actually put some attractant out in front of these cameras where I can't do that up in my area. Well, I actually can't do it now in the whole lower peninsula of Michigan.
Can't do it in the lower peninsula.
So we'll be able to run a Trailcam survey and really get to see what we've got for an inventory.
Don't get me started.
So there you go. It's a touchy subject with Danny.
What
with a lot of people here in Michigan. So, and speaking of that, I got to set in a little bit on another little meeting that went on with a group of guys that are pushing for certain pieces of legislation in the state of Indiana to promote hunting and protect hunting. And the subject of CWD come up. And,
really?
Yeah.
Did it now?
And then they found out I was from Michigan, and I was like, yeah, let me tell you. I said, it's a subject that will divide the hunting community right down the middle. I mean, you've got them on both sides and to the opposite extremes, and all in the middle. I said, it's just an ever-encompassing problem for people to deal with. And I said, everybody's got an opinion about it. I said, there's not a lot of – there is facts out there about it, but, I mean, we just haven't really come up with a hard solution yet as to what to do. So
he's doing the do's and don'ts of running a trail camera.
Okay.
Friday at 1:30. Saturday is going to be doing it again at up here, 4:30 to 5:30, and then he's going to be doing it one more time Sunday morning at 10:30 to 11:30.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
there you go.
But there's a whole schedule. I mean, you can spend a whole day there going to seminars, walking the floor. But check it out online. Go to Outdoorama.com. And it sends you the show span.
All right. Well, I tell you what, let's take our last break. We come back. Let's talk a little bit about, we've asked a question about shooting here, so let's cover what we've been doing there at the league and how things are going.
Yeah.
What we've kind of figured out. So, all right, we're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Fourth segment of the show. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Right. You know what? We talked about in the last segment, scouting cameras, scouting. Yeah. I scouted something out today and I bagged it.
What did you bag?
Somebody was throwing out their artificial Christmas tree.
Don't do that when I'm drinking coffee. I can just see this. You went curbside.
Yeah. They actually had it in totes.
I know what you're going to do. You're going to use it as cover for a blind, aren't you?
Absolutely.
I knew it.
And this one was great because it was individual branches.
Was it one of those silver ones?
No, it was not silver, and it wasn't pre-lit, thank God. The one I got last year was pre-lit.
But, okay.
But anyways, yeah, they had it in totes by the curb.
Nice.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. So Gabby and I drove the truck around the block. It's in the back of my truck right now.
What did the missus think about that?
Oh, she knows. She did. I did it last year, so she was like...
But what did she think about it?
It makes sense, and plus it's free.
Okay. All right. There you go, folks. It's actually a pretty good tip that you can use for your blinds if you want to put something on them like that to help break up the silhouette of them. Use it to brush them in, especially pop-up blinds.
Right, exactly. And it's natural, and it stays there all year. So if the trees around you or whatever might die, you still got that green.
Yeah.
But, I got a couple things. You see that by Charles Byram?
Yeah, Charles just chiming in here, replying back to Dan about putting the cameras up high. It says that he's been doing it for a couple of years now and probably has gotten triple the amount of pics of mature deer. So it's helping him out in the field. So, yeah, I've heard of more people doing this here in the last couple of years and having success with it. And he says he doesn't need a ladder, just his tree saddle and a couple western edge steps. So, and actually, Charles and I are talking a little bit online about the tree saddles. Something that still intrigues me, so it's something I'm going to have to do some investigating on. Actually, John Eberhardt uses a tree saddle, and that's actually what got Charles and I talking about.
Oh, okay.
So
kind of got you.
That and using scent lock. So the scent lock system.
Good old scent lock.
So, but back here, I don't know, a couple segments ago, Benjamin Farrell, he says we've been doing any shooting. We're into, what did we say, this would be our 8th week of...
I think it's 8.
This is week 8 of our Target Archery League.
Of 12 weeks.
So, last week, I had another off first 5 ends. There's 10 ends to the half, so that's 20 ends to the night.
Yeah, we shoot 60 arrows total.
Yeah.
30 a half.
So, when Danny and I get there, we really don't have a lot of time to warm up, but we do get practice in, the 2 practice rounds. And the first 6 arrows I shot, I was like, boom, boom, boom. It was just, I felt good. And then when it comes scoring round, very first arrow, I flinched and busted out just outside the 6 ring for no score. And I'm just like, what just happened?
Right.
Then the mental game starts. And it took me another 4 ends to kind of figure out what's going on. Danny knows this, but I really haven't talked about it a whole lot. But my left shoulder's been giving me fits, especially since we started working out. I've got a real weak left shoulder. The socket, I get shooting pains through it. So when I'm shooting and pushing, what I finally figured out is I'm breaking down on the shot, and I'm collapsing on that shoulder because of that pain. And I realized that week before last. I kind of worked that out towards the end of that round, or that night, and it popped back in my head, and I'm like, I think this is what the issue is again. So as the night went on, I made sure to get into the shot, really have forward pressure hard. And when you do that bow, it'll steady right up. Because before I was just making donuts. I mean, I could not hold still. I could not hold on the center. But when I got that forward pressure, good hard steady forward pressure on that, and as I released and pushed through the shot, everything came back together.
The other part of that is exactly what you said. Some of the people are there 5:30ish, and they kind of warm into the game and get.
You made this statement last week.
A dozen arrows. Where think about that dozen arrows that we could have practiced if we got there earlier enough before we get into scoring.
Right.
And it would be like the 2 practice rounds would just be the fine tuning before go.
Right.
For us, that is our start of our fine tuning, and it, like you said, it took you 5 ends, 5 ends,
4 or 5 ends to figure it out,
and it hits you, right?
Because it becomes more of a mental issue. At that point, it's like, man, what am I doing? Why am I why am I not being able to concentrate and get onto that center? But after I started doing that, I went back and looked at my score sheet, and really the last 3 quarters of the night
was a lot better.
It was like I'd shot the nights that I shot my best score.
Right, exactly. So and the 2 guys we were shooting against, which was shooting everybody against everybody in this league is fun, but these 2 guys were lights out.
Oh man,
it was watching those 2 guys go at each other was just it's priceless.
Well, the one guy, I think he shot 57 out of 60 X's.
Right, exactly.
And it's just like, man, it's just lights out watching these guys shoot.
But we discussed this on the way home too, because we're shooting skinny arrows and we're not shooting fatties.
Right.
That we might be leaving 10 points on the board because we didn't catch the line.
Right.
So just something to think about for us for next year. That we're thinking,
absolutely.
we'll probably have to get some fatter arrows for next year's indoor league.
Already thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Already planning on it, actually. So that's a plan for next year. So, hey, Chris Kreiner's on. Hey, welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, Chris Kreiner.
You missed the coyote talk earlier.
The coyote gunner.
So, Ken's talking about the tree saddle changed the game for him too as well. He loves it. Dan Anderson replying back says that he's thinking the same thing about the trail cameras.
He knows that the deer know the cameras are there.
Yeah.
I think it's not so much the camera. I think it's so much the scent.
Could be both.
You know what? But if you ever notice some of your pictures that are taken, you ever notice the deer's coming up to smell it anyways? They're inquisitive about it. So Dan's probably right. They know they're there because they see it.
It's different.
Yep, they see something that's different. Exactly.
Or they hear something.
Could hear something as well. So. And or if it glows red or whatever it might do.
Right.
Bears do the same thing because they're very inquisitive.
Yeah. First camera I ever had, a bear put it in the creek.
Now, see?
Right
Didn't
off
like
the
his
tree.
picture taken.
SWAT. So
did not like his picture taken. So.
But one thing I've noticed though, getting back to target shooting, your game has greatly made vast leaps forward. Every week you're making that march right up the hill.
I'm trying to every week kind of set a goal for the week. And right now my goal is to try to hold everything in the red rings. And
7 and in.
Yep. And so it's like I crushed 2 arrows last week with my.
That's right, you did.
With my
he Robin Hooded.
With my Robin Hood, which is painful.
Yeah, I'm standing on the line and I hear the sound, and it's you can't really describe the sound, but
it's a crunch.
It's a crunch, but it's a very distinct sound, and you always shoot right in front of me, and I shot and I heard that, and I just kind of look, and I and I can't see downrange that well anyway. My eyes are bad, but I'm like quietly, I'm like, Danny, was that you? And he goes, I think so.
Right, it was me. But
yeah, it was. But the thing was, and give him props, he had, I believe, was one of them an X?
It was an X1010.
An X1010. The 1010 was
the 2.
The Robin Hood. So he's like I said, he stepped his game up, man. It was right on. That is
You're
awesome.
right, Matt Howard. Red or better. But So every week I try to step up my game by, okay, this week I'm going to do this week. And so far I'm now down to the red. And last week I think I had 4 outside of the red.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, incrementally I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's my whole indoor game this year.
Right. Well, and that's kind of, for me, that's the ultimate goal. I mean, the ultimate goal for me is if I can get yellow and better. I was doing pretty well at red and better. I was getting to that 4 or 6 arrow mark. I'll flinch on a shot. It happens. Concentration breaks down. But like I said, the last couple of weeks, actually, the last 3 weeks have been really painful on my shoulder. And that's what I've been working
And we're
through.
seeing that when we're lifting weights. We're depending on which
we do
which
shoulders
weight.
on Thursday night, and I think that's what aggravates it.
Shoulders on Thursday nights, but arms on Tuesdays doesn't seem to bother you as much. But
not
when
at
we
all.
move to shoulders, it becomes, and you can always, it's kind of odd. You think your right arm is stronger than your left, but I'm finding that to be different, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I worked out today, and I thought about it after I worked out, and I went, uh-oh, I got to shoot tonight. So that ought to be entertaining.
I got up this morning. I said, it'd be a good day to go to the gym. And I thought, no, we're shooting tonight. I am not going to go to the gym on a night we shoot.
So I did a half hour of cardio on the elliptical, and then I did 6 machines, 2 arms, 2 shoulders, and then 2 abs. And then that was an hour, so I was done. And then I got to see our local celebrity there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I was with Gabby, and so it was fun. And so we'll see tonight. I'm gonna stop. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna pick up my can of Mossy Oak Pursuit for my evening drink.
If you want to know who Danny's talking about, PM him, and he'll send you a link to who we're talking about.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
When he told
celebrity.
me who was in there the first time, I didn't believe it, and then when he showed me, I was like, "OMG!"
Right? Yeah. So, anyways,
he's on YouTube.
He is.
He's on YouTube.
Instagram sensation, I guess.
Yeah. So.
But anyways, so we're gonna get out of here. But as far as shooting, I think this indoor league for both of us has been very good.
It's been good and eye-opening as well.
Eye-opening, and it's just kind of tacking on more things that we're gonna have maybe for next year. A lens.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about maybe getting one in the next couple weeks. Bigger arrows.
Yeah, definitely.
And changing our rest.
Changing the rest, yeah. And for me, I definitely got to get to the eye doctor and get my eyes checked again, even with my glasses. Now, last year I had to start shooting with glasses. There's no way I could even think about shooting anywhere near 20 yards and out without having glasses on. Couldn't focus on the target. I couldn't see it. It's just too blurry. So, and now my eyes have changed again. I can still see it, but it's not crisp and clear. I cannot see that 10 ring, and I think a lens and getting my eyes checked and new glasses is going to help greatly.
And I hope, maybe I'll talk to Jim tonight, but as far as lens power selection,
right?
I'm hoping he could bring some, and I'd like to try different ones because
we've heard everything across the board.
I've heard from an 8 to a 1,
yeah,
and everything in between, and I'm like, okay.
I think it's more like personal preference.
It's got to be, because the one guy shooting Vegas was shooting an 8.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And then other people are saying, well, I shoot a 2, or I shoot a 4, I shoot a 6. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Time out. Well, why is it all across the board, but it's just got to be personal preference.
But then they say, okay, for indoor, you want a higher power. But then when you go outdoors to it, you want a bigger power because you're shooting longer distances.
Right. Yeah. I don't know
either.
So we're gonna
stay tuned.
We're gonna play with that as well. So
yeah, exactly. So, but so far for this week coming up, it looks like hit the Outdoorama and kind of check out the outdoorsies. Find out who's going to be there, who's going to be in town.
Okay, Chris Cryer, quick tip here. He says the infrared can tip deer off and other critters off too. A lot of times they'll look right at the camera even when they are a ways out. I agree with that. I mean, because even the human eye, when you have those no flash or red flash infrared, if you're looking at, if you see it, if you're looking at the camera and it goes off, you can see something.
You get the red glow.
Yeah. Well, there's a thing there that hits you that you can actually physically. You can see a little.
So
something.
if you do that at an angle, it'll be down at their feet.
Well, it doesn't hit them directly in their eyes. And a deer's eyes. The one thing that we learned in the deer steward class is the eyes. The deer's eyes the pupils are not round. They're slit. They're horizontal.
Oh, they're horizontal. Okay.
Because what they're doing is they're scanning. They're not so much worried about. They do now that they look up, but that's because of us. But in nature, they typically don't have predators that they're worried about that are up. They're more concerned with what is on the horizon, and that's what they're scanning. They're scanning that whole horizon, and that's why their eyes are slit, so they can gather that peripheral as well. That's why they can see up to 300 degrees. There's only a 30 or a 60 degree cone behind them to where they can't see.
Right, and that's the thing too. Is when the deer looks up, you're right. That's because something is
we've educated them.
Is either educating or made a noise up there.
True.
That like a squirrel will do that.
Yep.
So 360. Or
300 degrees is what they
300.
That's
they have 60 knots.
Field of vision. Yeah, there's 60 degrees behind them. There's a cone directly behind them, 60 degrees that they cannot see.
Plus, their head's on a swivel anyway.
Right.
So,
but you think about that when you've looked into a doe's eyes.
I have.
When you look to it, you can see the slit.
Yep.
And they're built that way is for that peripheral vision on the horizon. And even when they bend down to eat, their eyes roll up, and I forget there's a term for that, but that way as they're eating, they're still looking and scanning that 300 degrees
for predators.
Yeah,
yep.
It's just for survival. So
when you see them grazing like that, so that's good to know.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, let's wrap up and
head to the archery range.
Bombo Genesis our way down to
who we got on the show next week.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, show announcement. We are going to be having the one and only Bobby Vargas on the show.
From PSE Archery.
From PSE Archery. And if you've known our live show from ATA this year, and obviously videos we've done with him in the past, he is the man, the myth, the legend they call Bobby Vargas. And we're going to talk about 3 different types of bows. And we're going to have him live on the show to run through them. And because these bows are, one, going to be good for turkey season, and one is going to be good for target, and the other one is a crossbow. So
there you go. So make sure you tune in next week. For the podcast people, that'll do it for us this week, folks. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
ScentLock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
EZ Kut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.